I still remember the first time I saw him, like it happened just yesterday. The way his smile lit up the room, how his eyes seemed to hold promises of forever, it was intoxicating. We met on a rainy afternoon, the kind where the world feels suspended and every moment stretches out with possibility. Our conversations flowed effortlessly, laughter spilling between us like a secret language only we understood. In those early days, everything felt new and thrilling. We shared dreams beneath starry skies, our hands intertwined as if sealing a pact no one else could break. I believed in us with all my heart, convinced that love like ours was unstoppable. Every text, every late-night call, every surprise visit carved deeper into my soul, making me sure I'd found my other half. But love, I've learned, is never just light and sweetness. It has shadows, cracks, and sometimes the sharp sting of betrayal. The first warning signs were subtle, missed calls explained away with vague stories, a sudden chill in his voice when I asked too many questions. I told myself to trust, to believe in the foundation we'd built, but doubt began to creep in like a slow poison. One evening, everything changed. I stumbled upon a message on his phone, a message that wasn't meant for my eyes. The words were innocent at first glance, but the tone, the timing, it shattered the world I thought we lived in. Heart pounding, breath caught in my throat, I felt the walls close in as the truth started unraveling before me. Confronting him was the hardest thing I've ever done. The look in his eyes, guilt, regret, something broken, was a mirror of my own shattered trust. He tried to explain, stumbled over excuses, but the damage was done. The love we nurtured now seemed like a fragile illusion, a beautiful lie that couldn't withstand the weight of betrayal. Days turned into nights filled with silence and tears. I replayed every moment, searching for signs I'd missed, wondering how someone who once promised forever could become a stranger. The house, once filled with warmth and laughter, echoed with empty spaces where love used to live. I felt lost, adrift in a sea of confusion and heartbreak. Friends and family noticed the change, their concerned eyes reflecting my own pain. Some urged me to forgive, others warned me to walk away. But forgiveness isn't a switch you flip. It's a tangled web of emotions that pull you in every direction. I wanted to believe we could heal, that love could survive the wounds betrayal leaves behind. There were moments when he reached out, his voice soft and filled with sorrow, promising he'd never hurt me again. I wanted to hold on to those moments like lifelines, but the fear lingered, a shadow that dimmed every smile. Trust once broken is like glass, sharp, fragile, and impossible to put back together without cutting yourself. I found myself questioning everything, my judgment, my worth, even the love I thought was unbreakable. Nights were the hardest, when silence screamed loudest and memories replayed like a cruel movie. I wondered if love was supposed to hurt this much, or if I was just too naive to see the signs sooner. Yet amid the chaos, there were glimpses of the person I fell in love with, the laughter that still flickered in his eyes, the tenderness in his touch when he wasn't guarded. Those moments felt like fragile threads holding us together, teasing me with hope even as my heart warned me to let go. I started writing again, pouring my pain and confusion onto paper, hoping to make sense of the storm inside. Words became my refuge, a way to confront the betrayal without losing myself completely. Each sentence was a step toward healing, even when the path felt impossibly steep. Our conversations grew strained, filled with pauses heavier than words. We danced around the truth, afraid to face the raw emotions beneath. The love that was once our sanctuary had become a battlefield where every word could ignite another fight, every silence a reminder of what was lost. One rainy afternoon, like the day we met, I watched him from across the room, wondering how we got here. The man I loved was still there, but so was the pain that kept us apart. I reached out, fingers trembling, hoping to bridge the chasm between us, even as doubt whispered that some things might never be the same. He took my hand, his grip uncertain but earnest. In that moment, the past and present collided, memories of love intertwined with the sting of betrayal. We didn't have answers, only questions hanging in the air, but for a fleeting second, it felt like maybe, just maybe, we could find a way back. But love isn't a fairy tale, and sometimes the ending is still unwritten. We stood at a crossroads, caught between what was and what might be, both scared and hopeful. The road ahead was uncertain, marked by the scars of betrayal, but also the fragile possibility of forgiveness. I don't know how this story will end. Maybe we'll rebuild the trust that was broken, or maybe we'll part ways with heavy hearts but clearer eyes. What I do know is that this love, tainted though it may be, has changed me forever, teaching me about strength, vulnerability, and the complicated beauty of the human heart. Every day since has been a delicate balance, holding on to memories without letting them drown me, learning to trust my own heart again while navigating the aftermath of betrayal. It's a journey without a map, full of detours and unexpected turns, but I'm walking it one step at a time. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear the echoes of our laughter, a bittersweet reminder of what we once had. Other times, the silence feels deafening, a hollow space where love should be. I'm caught somewhere in between, suspended in a story that's still unfolding, uncertain and raw. The pain hasn't disappeared. It's woven into the fabric of my days, a constant companion I'm learning to live with. But so is hope, the stubborn, flickering light that refuses to be extinguished, even when the darkness seems overwhelming. It's that hope that keeps me moving forward. I share this story not because I have all the answers, but because I know I'm not alone. Love is messy, complicated, and sometimes devastating. But it also teaches us who we are, how deeply we can feel, and what it means to be truly human in the face of heartbreak. So here I am, still standing, still feeling, still searching for a way to make peace with a love that's been forever changed by betrayal. It's not the ending I imagined, but it's my story, and I'm telling it as honestly as I can, hoping it might resonate with someone else who's walking a similar path. Because in the end, love is never just about the good times or the bad. It's about the courage to keep going, even when everything feels broken. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. I keep asking myself what love really means when trust has been fractured. Is it about forgiveness, or is it about knowing when to let go? The answers are tangled up in emotions too complex to unravel in a single moment. Sometimes they come slowly, like dawn after a long, dark night. There are days I feel like I'm moving forward, and others when the weight of betrayal drags me back down. It's a constant battle between hope and pain, between wanting to hold on and needing to protect myself. Sometimes it feels like I'm split in two, caught between love's past and an uncertain future. I find myself replaying every conversation, every smile, every touch, trying to understand where things went wrong. Was there a moment when everything changed, or was it a slow unraveling, invisible until the fabric finally tore? These questions haunt me, and sometimes the silence is the loudest answer. He tells me he regrets what happened, that he never meant to hurt me. I want to believe him, because in my heart I still see the man I fell in love with. But the pain lingers like a shadow, reminding me that words alone can't erase the past. The space between us feels both vast and suffocating. We're together and apart all at once, like two ships passing in a fog. I crave closeness, but fear the vulnerability it requires. Every step toward him feels like walking on thin ice, unsure if it will hold or crack beneath me. My friends say I'm brave for staying, for trying to rebuild what was broken. But bravery doesn't mean absence of fear. It means facing that fear every day and choosing to keep going, even when the outcome is uncertain. I'm learning to be brave in ways I never imagined. Sometimes I wonder if love is worth this kind of pain, the way it can lift you to the highest highs, then drop you into the deepest lows. But then I remember the moments of joy, the connection, the hope, and I realize that even a love touched by betrayal can teach us how to feel more deeply than we ever thought possible. The hardest part is not knowing what comes next. Will we heal and find a new kind of love, or will this be the final chapter? I try not to dwell on it too much, focusing instead on the small steps we take each day, sometimes toward each other, sometimes apart. Our story isn't neat or simple. It's messy, painful, and real, and maybe that's what makes it so human. Love isn't just about perfect moments. It's about how we survive the imperfect ones, how we learn and grow even when everything feels like it's falling apart. I write this not as closure, but as a beginning, a way to share the tangled emotions that come with loving someone who's also hurt you. It's messy and raw, but it's the truth of my heart, laid bare in words that tremble with both pain and hope. As I close this chapter for now, I don't have the answers, and maybe I never will. But I know that love, even when tainted, is still a powerful force, a force that shapes us, challenges us, and sometimes breaks us open so we can start again. So here I am, walking through the shadows of betrayal, holding onto the fragile light of love that remains. It's not easy, and it's far from over. But it's my story, and I'll keep telling it, one day at a time. The memories flood in unexpectedly, his laugh echoing down quiet hallways, the warmth of his hand in mine on cold nights, the way our eyes met and spoke volumes without words. Those memories are both a balm and a wound, tender and raw all at once. Sometimes I catch myself smiling at the thought of him, a bittersweet ache that fills my chest. Other times, the same thought brings tears that I can't hold back. Love's complexity is exhausting, but it's also what makes it so profoundly human. I've realized that forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It's something I have to give myself permission to explore at my own pace. And maybe forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, it means choosing peace over resentment, even when the pain still lingers. We're trying to rebuild communication, piece by piece, like fragile shards of glass that might one day form a new whole. It's painstaking and delicate, requiring honesty and vulnerability neither of us thought we had left. But the willingness to try is there, flickering like a candle in the dark. Sometimes I wonder if the love we shared was just a moment in time, beautiful but fleeting. Other times, I believe it's something deeper, a bond that, despite everything, refuses to be broken completely. It's hard to hold both truths at once, but I'm learning to. The nights are the hardest. When the world quiets down and I'm left alone with my thoughts, the ache of betrayal feels overwhelming. But then I remind myself that healing isn't linear, and some days are meant for tears, not strength. I've become more aware of my own resilience. Despite the pain, I'm still here, still breathing, still loving, still hoping. That realization gives me a small but steady sense of power in a situation that often feels helpless. He's changed too, in ways I can't fully understand yet. The guilt and regret weigh heavily on him, and I see flashes of the man I fell in love with beneath the cracks. Whether that's enough to rebuild what we had is something only time will tell. Sometimes I imagine what it would be like to start fresh, free from the past's shadows. But then I remember that even fresh starts carry the weight of history. Our story is written in every scar, every smile, every tear, and that's something no new beginning can erase. I'm learning to set boundaries, to protect myself while still allowing space for love. It's a delicate balance, a dance between guarding my heart and being open enough to heal. Sometimes I falter, but every step teaches me something new about strength and vulnerability. There are moments when the pain feels like too much, threatening to overwhelm me entirely. But then I find a quiet corner, a breath of fresh air, a friend's comforting words, and the heaviness lifts just enough to keep going. I don't have all the pieces yet, and maybe I never will, but I'm holding on to the hope that what's broken can still be mended or at least transformed. Love doesn't have to be perfect to be real, and sometimes the most painful stories hold the deepest truths. This journey has taught me that love is not just about happiness, it's about endurance, forgiveness, and the courage to face the hard truths. It's messy and complicated, but it's also what makes us human, what connects us all in our shared experience of longing and loss. Even in betrayal, there is a strange kind of beauty, a reminder that we dared to love deeply, to trust, and to hope. That willingness to open our hearts, despite the risks, is something worth holding on to, no matter how broken the path becomes. I'm still learning to navigate the delicate threads of this love, weaving through pain and hope, distrust and tenderness. It's a story without a clear ending yet, a story that's still unfolding, chapter by uncertain chapter. Sometimes I catch myself staring out the window, lost in thought, wondering what the future holds. The unknown is daunting, but it's also filled with possibility, a chance to rewrite the narrative or find peace in a new direction. I don't know if this love will survive, but I do know it has changed me, shaped me in ways both painful and profound. It's a testament to the power of connection and the fragility of trust, a reminder that even broken hearts can teach us how to heal. So here I am sharing my story, not because it's neat or resolved, but because it's real. Because love, even when tainted by betrayal, is a journey worth telling, worth feeling, and worth fighting for in its own messy, beautiful way.